Richon. I am Peter Richon, joined by Holly Schwab of Zach's Toy Chest. This is a nonprofit organization helping to fight cancer one toy at a time. Holly, welcome in.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so glad to have you. Tell us a little bit of the background and the backstory, why you started Zach's Toy Chest.
Sure. So Zachary is my oldest child, and he is now 17 years cancer-free this week.
Wonderful.
So
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's a happy anniversary.
It is, and he's only 18. He was 18 in April, so by the time he was a year and a half, he was cancer-free.
Wow.
And he was treated at Duke, and for something called neuroblastoma. It was something I'd never heard of before I had to. And then we just noticed during his treatment that there was a lack of toys, a lack of activities to keep him occupied. He was only 9 months old when he was diagnosed, and everything that was at the hospital was kind of geared towards older kids. So coloring and crafts and things like that, board games. And it was for inpatient kids, so there was nothing on the outpatient side. And we were very, very blessed and fortunate to be able to do a lot of his treatment as outpatient. And so that's kind of where we spent a lot of time. His protocol was 7 days on, roughly 3 weeks off in between rounds of chemo. And we were there, even as an outpatient, we were there 7 to 12 hours a day. And so if we didn't bring it from home, he didn't have anything to do all day.
I bet that was just such a difficult year, and that every year since then has been a celebration.
It has.
And your comment about you didn't know the term until you had to. I think there are a lot of people out there, living without knowledge of some of
Yep.
these medical terms and terminologies that, wow, we're so lucky that we don't have to ever experience those words. But when we do, like there's a community there. And now you're part of that community in supporting younger children who might be fighting not just the type of cancer Zach had, but any
All
type of
cancers.
cancer, any
Yep.
type of childhood cancer. So how does Zach's Toy Chest now operate? What do you do and what is your mission?
Yeah, so we first started, I tricked my husband. I fooled him into thinking it was going to be a one-time thing. We did a toy drive just with our friends
As
and
so many good
family.
things often start.
Yep, just did a toy drive for the outpatient clinic, the Valvano Day Hospital at Duke, and people really responded very well, and we saw the need, and I thought this is something I can do. I can fix this hole. And I was just so shocked that no one else hadn't already been thought of.
Well, you mentioned the Jimmy V. Valvano, and I think a lot of people probably know the Jimmy V. Foundation.
Yep.
And while there are foundations that serve communities, there are often holes and niches within even that specific community that leave certain aspects unfilled. So you saw the hole,
Yes.
and you started a one-time thing to fill the hole that turned into here we are 17 years later.
Yep. So things like the Jimmy V Foundation supplied, they basically created the day hospital, which is an outpatient clinic. Kids can come and get their chemo and any infusions and smaller things that you don't have to be inpatient for. And so that, in my mind, falls under the medical side. And Duke you have this world renowned like hospital, top-notch medical care, top-notch. Duke and UNC both here, right in our backyard.
Yeah.
However, there was just this hole, this void for making sort of like this complete circle. So you have the medical side, and then you have the patient, and then you just have this hole hanging out there. It's like, how can we create some trust between the kids and the staff? How can we reduce anxiety, take away some fear of the unknown, and toys? It's literally, it was just the simplest idea, which is why I was so shocked because every time I feel like I have a great idea, I realize someone's already thought about it.
Right? Yeah. It's happened to me a time or two.
So, and what makes Sex Toy Chest different is we started with a holiday toy drive, but we quickly changed that to doing it all year. So we collect all year and then we donate all year. We are making monthly donations, smaller, more frequent donations to all the hospitals. We serve Duke, UNC Children's, Wake Med, James and Connie Maynard over in Greenville and through the ECU system. That hospital serves a lot of the eastern part of the state. And then people might not know, but Wake Med doesn't serve pediatric cancer kids. But what happens is a lot of kids are there. They come in the ER or they come in with other symptoms, and then they're diagnosed, and then they're transported out to Duke or UNC usually. So we thought it was important to reach out to them as well. And what started as outpatient only for pediatric hematology oncology has now spread because of the support the community gives us. We're able to put toys in every clinic all over the hospital, from the ER to the ambulances to, oncology, not just oncology, but cardiology, audiology, like all the ologies, basically.
I've got a ton of questions in my mind, but you mentioned the support.
Yes,
Let's talk about that for a moment, because for any organization, cause like this, the support of the community is so important. And you are a 501(c)(3) nonprofit,
we
right?
are.
Okay. So my question there is, toy donations are fantastic, but financial donations to support the rest of the back end of the operation also probably appreciated.
Very much so. So I'll share, we are 100% volunteer based, and we have been from day one. I am, I, as much as I hate math and I hate numbers, I'm very good with budgeting and making a little bit go a long way. And it has served me well,
Has
not just at my own
been very
household,
helpful, yeah.
but, with running a charity, especially in times where there's recessions. I mean, we did our first official toy drive under the name of Zach's Toy Chest in September of 2009. So we're coming up on 16 years of that. And it was the height of a recession. I had been laid off from Sprint. I had this this kid with me, Zach. I had him on my hip at Whole Foods and Cary as our first official corporate sponsor, so to speak. And, we just set up a display and asked their customers to purchase a toy and then bring it back and donate it to us. And it just sort of snowballed into this really wonderful thing where we are now. But what we've discovered is we've had this explosion of growth, and while it's great and we have the toys for the kids, now we're looking at things such as storage. I was keeping everything at my house. My husband hated it.
Yeah,
He was like,
yeah.
"You got to do something
A
about
little
it."
bit of clutter, hoarding, the walls are
Yes.
closing in kind of
So
thing, I
we
imagine.
purchased a big barn, and we're very fortunate. It lives on the outskirts of town, so we have a little extra land. And we purchased a large barn, and that became the toy chest barn. And then we outgrew that, and so now we have a couple of storage units as well. And it has to be climate controlled because the toys need to be kept clean and safe. And then also you have things like batteries. And when you have this lovely North Carolina weather, so heat, humidity, things like that, it all plays a factor. And until I had to start storing toys like this in between visits, I never thought about it.
Didn't think about that. Yeah. So if this is tugging at somebody's heart, they want to make a donation. New toys again are great, and
Yes,
that's the main drive and ask that most people help you fill. But a financial monetary donation would also certainly be welcome.
yep,
Or even if a company is looking for those end of year write-offs and this is a cause that they'd like to support, right? Is
absolutely. We can accept, so, and this is my personal philosophy, and I've worked very closely to build a board who feels similar as me. We take every donation, whether it's time, money, toys, and everyone is treated the same because not one is more important than the other. We could not do this work without all three of those. But I will say a good 90 to 95% of our donations are in the form of toys. So financial support would be amazing. It would help us cover our expenses. We have very low overhead, basically just the storage
Mhm.
for now, and we're working on some logistics to make sure we can get things to where they're needed to go.
What if somebody had space that they could donate in kind, like good climate controlled space rather than paying for would that be some? Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay. All right. So just keep
Yep.
that in mind as well. Speaking of the board side of this, so the logistics and the business side always interest me. How much of a process was it for you to go from this concept and idea of I
Oh.
want to donate and give back to understanding everything that goes into forming and running and maintaining a nonprofit?
It has been a huge, huge learning curve. I am self-taught at everything. Because I'm so frugal, I refuse to pay someone to do this nonprofit paperwork. And I was actually really offended that the government charges to be a nonprofit. I was like, you're trying to do something good, but it's the same for everything. It's there to safeguard you, the business slash nonprofit, and then the people that you're supporting. But it costs anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to fill out that paperwork. So I found Duke Law Clinic, got a law student who was about to graduate, helped me with all the legal side of it, and then I filled out all the information part about, our mission, our values, where the toys are going, things like that. And we submitted it and it was taken on the first try, which I heard was very rare
Yeah.
that to not get pushback from the government.
Yep.
So the IRS, we have our 501(c)(3). We also have a support from the Department of Revenue through North Carolina, so tax exemption for state and federal. And I mean, there's really no reason someone couldn't do a financial donation and get whatever benefits can apply to them based on their corporation or as an individual.
Yep.
It should be covered at this
But
point.
all that paperwork, all that learning, finding um, having the board there to help guide decisions and
Building,
operations.
yes, building a strong board was very key. I have tried very hard to surround myself and ask the people who are on our board were cherry picked after working with them for months or years and over time and realizing we have very shared, similar values. We share a lot of things, but the key difference is they have skills that I don't have.
That's what you want to surround yourself with. Yeah.
Exactly. And, you never know everything, and I'll never know everything. I've done a lot of this just flying by the seat of my pants and
Figured it out though. Figured a lot
yeah,
out, I'm sure.
figured it out.
Yeah.
And I think that was the mentality of just my generation as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But
So let's get back to the stories and the
sure.
cause. Share with us a couple of the success stories of Zach's Toy Chest where you feel like you've made a difference.
So my biggest one is we literally just had this past Saturday our ninth summer's night with Santa. And it is a Christmas and summer type celebration that we put on. Everything is free. We don't allow advertising. We don't allow people to fundraise or do anything like that at this event. It's childhood cancer survivors from across the state are more than welcome to come. And if they're coming from further away, I kind of try to go the extra mile and help them even secure a hotel for the night at a discounted rate, or if someone would donate it, because I don't want people having to drive further than they need to, and I don't want them to be left out either. And so we came together. We have a real bearded Santa. We've partnered with this group called the North Carolina Friends of Santa. Amazing group of people. Santa Jim is how he's listed in my
The
phone.
real Santa.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Santa Jim is in my phone and Mrs. Claus and they came and they were in their traditional get up and the kids love it and he
That's
has
some dedication in these hot North Carolina summers.
I will share we tried a summer Santa one time and the kids just I mean they thought it was cool but they prefer the real deal,
Yeah.
that whole traditional part. So we do it. We had a really good partnership we've just been forming with a new corporation out in Raleigh, and they came and ran a snow cone station. We had fairy hair. Even Zach got fairy hair, and he's 18. He's an 18-year-old boy with fairy hair.
Nice. I mean, taking part. Yeah.
He loves it.
How does he feel about all this? I don't want to distract from the story,
No,
but
absolutely. So it's been a interesting ride. In the
teenage
beginning,
years can be tough.
sure. So when about ninth grade, he decided he was like, you know what, I'm not crazy about being the face of childhood cancer. And I said, I certainly respect that. And so we made a deal that I would not do anything at his school. He just graduated from Fuquay High and did very well. And even though he does have a couple long-term side effects from chemo, lingering things, he's mastered all that. He graduated with honors and um, he helps on the back end now, but I'm hoping as he ages, it'll come back full circle because without him and what he went through, then, there would be no Zach's toy
Yeah.
chest.
Well, probably, I mean, at that age, just trying to think where it would be something that I would be trying to forget and live life as normal as possible, whereas it's got to be something that you just can't forget.
It's as you meet certain parents, you'll find that some people are really interested in giving back, especially as it's still fresh. But when they get a few years out of treatment, they're just like, you know what? I'm done. And that's okay.
Hmm.
It just wasn't, I can't say I'm done because I see the whole and I know that we are the only charity in North Carolina that does this year round. We're actually when we started, when we got our 501(c)(3), we were still the only charity in all the surrounding states. So all the Southeast United States that does this year round. Every other group that does it is just holidays. So basically Christmas.
Well, that's why it's such a great cause and organization. And I'm sorry I pigeoned holed or squirreled and went down a different rabbit hole, that is. But sorry, get back to the story.
Summer's Night with
Yeah.
Santa, great event. It's the only one of its kind. We brought everyone together. We worked with the Ruckus and Apex. They are amazing. Not only is the food delicious, but the staff is so caring and giving back. They pretty much donated all the food. I mean, we just covered the cost of the food. And I haven't had that kind of experience with a group in a while, and they're just so giving. Everyone ate it. I have a picture of one of the survivors' sisters because this event is also it's for the whole family.
Hmm.
So the survivor, the caregivers, guardians, and then siblings because siblings get left out of so much. And she was eating the slices of watermelon over the plate. There was like 3 slices left, and I want to say she's like 5 or 6. I think she's 5 because her mom said she's a COVID baby, and that's why she's so wild, which I thought was hilarious. But
Makes sense. Yeah.
the kids just seeing them live their best life, like not thinking about the cancer, like knowing that they're there because of what they went through, but not lingering on it, living in the moment, making the memories. We had 2 wonderful photographers, one doing pictures with Santa, one doing a photo booth, a fun photo booth, because memories are important, especially when you've got a child that's sick with anything. Um, what we've found over the years is there are 3 children who have come to this event who have since passed and due to complications from their cancer and or their treatments because the treatments are so hard. And so I make it such a personal mission to have all the memory making stuff there. The pictures are so important to the families.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, like you mentioned, I mean, when one person in the family goes through cancer, everybody is going through it. Maybe not the sickness and the treatment, but it's affecting everyone. And I can speak
yep,
firsthand on that with my wife Amber, who had thyroid cancer 3 years ago. It affected my routine and schedule and my eating habits and my diet and my work-life balance and what I thought was important in life. And my son at that time, 12, he's getting into his middle school and beginning high school years. He's also affected,
a lot of
and
hormones
he
flying through there. Yeah.
absolutely. So yeah, it's not in the same way as the person impacted themselves with cancer, but everyone in the family, and especially childhood cancer with siblings there, and suddenly all the time and attention is put on. It's great that you're able to bring the whole families into the picture
Oh,
there.
absolutely. We don't want to leave anyone out, and we encourage the families to sign up aunts, uncles, grandparents, anyone that was involved in that day-to-day treatment. Um, and I think about that because my own mama and daddy were here all the time. I'm from Eastern North Carolina, born and raised, and my mama and daddy are a huge part of my life still. And I'm so grateful that they can be. And I just think about well, we don't want to ever exclude anyone. I mean, everyone has a piece of the puzzle to this family connection of going through this childhood cancer together. And a strong family support, it just means so much and you can't get through it without that support.
Yeah.
So
Again, Holly Schwab, Zach's Toy Chest. And give me the slogan again. One toy.
Fighting cancer one toy at a time.
Fighting cancer, one toy at a time. One new toy, by the way.
Yes.
Accept new toy donations. Any type of donation, again, welcome and appreciated. But the toys themselves, new toy donations. But tell people how they can donate. Like where can they find you and your organization and Zach's Toy Chest?
So I am out of Holly Springs, but we have what we call donation stations all over the Triangle at local businesses. And so on our website, it's zachstoychest.org. And Zach with an H, like H as in hospital. That's a good way to remember it.
ACH.
Right. Zachstoychest.org.
Okay. Zachstoychest.org. Okay.
And there's a tab that says, excuse me, a tab that says donate. And then you can find the 3 different ways to donate: time, talent, and toys. And you just click on it. And then there's a wish list of items broken down by age group. And there's also you can click on the town. So it's like Cary, Holly Springs, and it gives you a list of our partners, our community partners who accept new donations, toy donations in person during their business hours. And so that's one of the ways we've gotten around not having that overhead of having a brick and mortar, is by partnering with local businesses who want to help, and they do it in that way. And we have several right here in Fuquay.
Fantastic. Zach'sToyChest.org, Holly Schwab. Obviously, folks, y'all can tell a cause that's near and dear to her heart, very personal, and touches many more people than I think we would realize walking around day to day. And when it touches you, impacts you very deeply. So if you're at all touched by this, I like the 3 T's: time, talent, or toys.
Right.
I would also throw in there, time is money, so money falls in one of those. If you'd like to donate in any of those capacities, zachstoychest.org. And Holly, a great conversation. I'm sure there's so much more that we could cover, but if people want more of the story, I encourage them to reach out to you.
Yep, my cell phone number is on the website. It's a 702 number, but so sometimes people think it's not local. It's not. It's from Las Vegas.
Okay. I'm like area codes is kind of my thing because I used to be in radio and have all over the country. 702. Yeah, that's the Las Vegas area code. Okay. I was thinking about it for a second. I was like, where is that? Yep, Vegas. Okay.
Yep. But they can call, text, email. It's holly@zachstoychest.org. The website is just zachstoychest.org. We tried to keep it very simple, and we're on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Zach's Toy Chest.
All right.
So yeah, we try to make it easy to find us.
Well, it's good that you are, and good that you're there. It is a niche that was a hole that was left unfilled. That I think you're doing a great thing. So I appreciate you being here and sharing.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.